Hello. So the Phantom Tour is now over, and I think it's good to try to talk about it and kind of my thoughts on it, like and what I liked about the event, what I didn't, and whether or not it was a good event and if it provided good value for players. So obviously, it was the release event for Lyria. Where is Lyria here? La la la. Oh, she actually right here. So it was a release event for Lyria. Like I said, newest hero of Dominion. She has some interesting skills and right, and it is a counter to dodge heroes. And when she was first released, there was kind of a bug with the skill, but it seems to have been fixed now, like I mentioned in one of my videos. But overall, I think she's actually a good hero who will definitely find a place in the metagame. I do think she's like I said, she's not OP, but she is strong. So I do think she's like I said, gonna help shake up the metagame. I do think you will see this a character you will see played a lot. Maybe not, if not on defense, certainly on attacking teams. But she does have value. She's one of those heroes that I think will see play in a number of teams. But the event itself, though, I just like the format was much better than like previous new hero events, like the ones where you had to fight the uber boss. Like it was really just trying to hope the RNG gods were nice to you. Then they got rid of the RNG, which just made those ones feel even worse and more tedious, and it's just you had to find the right buff number with the right heroes. It was just those ones started to get really not fun, and I think they realized that, like I said, so they made some changes. So the Phantom Tour, like it was just right, there was levels. Like I said, there was like different, 7 different levels, and each level had 8 stages. And it's like I said, most of them were doable. Like I said, you had to have specific buffs instead of trying to find like the magic buff number. It's like you need 50 buffs for this one, you need 100 buffs for this one, right? Up to 250 buffs for the final one. And for the most part, most of these were accessible to people who didn't want to spend a lot of money, assuming you didn't mess up your relic. Some people accidentally leveled the hat because the hat was on top. They thought they were leveling the ring. They accidentally leveled the hat. A couple of you people even commented about that under my videos, that you accidentally leveled the wrong relic. That's something I would hope they'd fix in the future. I'd hope they would just put, if they do something like that, they would put the buff relic at the very top, like put the ring at the very top one, so people are less likely to make a mistake, or maybe have like a confirmation window. Sometimes when you do like a multi-raid, if you want to see if there's a confirmation for a day, like a once a day confirmation, like I said, they could put something like that on there before you do the buff or something like that, maybe. So that's something, like I said, I know I saw a few people saying that was an issue. But like if you didn't waste your things and you did all the quests and stuff, you could get to the 6th stage without spending money. Like that's a bit contentious because it did take a long time. The time commitment on this event was high. Like, and that's something people always like, oh, it's they give you that you got the stuff for free. First, they gave you the first 6 tiers for free. Said right. Well, it's a significant time commitment. Like in time, when you talk about the value event, you have to consider the time commitment. Right, we have the Area of Conquest right now. A lot of people hate this event because it's a huge time commitment, and people feel like the rewards are not good for the time commitments, right? You had to put in a lot of time to try to get your guild to rank 1, and most people think these rewards aren't even that good, so why should I care? So a lot of people, there's always a lot of guilds, especially like weaker guilds, most people don't even care. Like this server, like on this, my guild on the 33, like that I'm in the lovers, the people in this guild are pretty committed. Like there's a lot of people with a lot of pride here. But in my Let's Play account, that guild, like there's only a couple of people even care. Like most people don't even participate. They just sit out. So this is an event this is just a bad event. Another bad event I would say is Clash of Worlds, which is not really an event, just a thing that happens. Like Clash of Worlds is just terrible game mode. Again, super, like I said, it's time intensive, and the rewards are terrible. You get some trophies that nobody really cares about. Like people hate Clash of Worlds, right? There's a few people who like it, but most people don't like Clash of Worlds. Most people don't like Area of Conquest, right? But people generally seem to like the Phantom Tour because it was fun, right? And the rewards you got for getting the levels, like I said, right? If you got to 5th level, you got a new skin for Folio. Got his new masquerade skin, which makes him look like a disc jockey. There were these platinum hit coins that you could spend, and some of the rewards here were okay. Like I said, some people were getting the insignias, or they're getting like chaos particles for new players. That's probably the pick for new players. Some people are using items to like upgrade their heroes. They want those like Harunian helms or Alucard armaments or the Lycanthrope Veins or the Flaming Hearts, right? That's all good stuff, right? So right, if you have the fifth and sixth levels both gave you 10 of these platinum hits. The earlier levels only gave you like 2. But you know, the fifth and sixth levels where all the value was for like free players. And the seventh one, if you got this, if you could beat the seventh one, you would get a totem. You would get not that one, that was a different totem. You would get one of these ones. This one here. The absolute elemental summoning one. So this is right, if you have all your totems unlocked, this is their 200,000 emeralds, but for most people, it's a totem of their choice. Pretty good price, but that one did require you to buy probably the battle pass. The battle pass is kind of the best value for the picks, because you could get 150 picks, plus you got the Lyria skin. Like, if you wanted Lyria's new skin, you also had to buy the pass, right? So she has this masquerade skin, that was part of the battle pass. There were 150 of the picks that you needed, like, and the battle pass is generally enough to get enough picks to go from 6 to 7, like, that get that last bit of buffs that you needed. Usually that's about all you needed, unless you spend some of the money upgrading the other relics. So I do think like price wise, like I said, is pretty much just $30 for a totem, which was a deal. It was a better deal than normal. Some people felt like it's overpriced. There's some people said the deal was too generous. I mean, I've literally seen this take in like the Legends channel, like some of the creators like, oh, they were being too generous. Of like, no, they're not. Like, it's compared to like the nature season. This is a $45 ticket. Like I said, it's a $45 ticket. I can't even show. I already bought it on this one, and you get totem on this one if you complete all themes for $45. The best way to look at the Lyria event is it was pretty much like this, but it was $30. It's a $30 ticket instead of $45 ticket, so it offers a bit better value, and I think that's the best comparison would be like a nature season. But because it's a release event, there's hype around it. Because I said, you know, it's good to have, because they do have big events that are supposed to have better rewards. Like this Winterfest, great example. Winterfest, probably the best event of the year, because the rewards are generally a lot better than other events, and especially for like the value, what you spend, like that, or like the anniversary event. Like, it doesn't have a high spending requirements, but the rewards are pretty good, right? Events like that. So they do, like I said, new hero release events are usually a bit better than normal events. It's not going to be like your Area of Conquest where the rewards suck. Like, it's a new hero. They want the hype around the new hero. They want the event to be a bit better than normal. So I think it's okay to essentially give you what is essentially a season pass for like discount, right? You get it's like a 30% discount on your season pass. Like I said, I think that's the best way to look at it. It was $30 for the totem. Like, that's realistically, it was $30 for that totem. So I don't think the value was too high. I don't think the value was too low. Some people feel like, oh, let's pay to win. Like, it's a gacha game. Like, there is like some of the best features will always be paywalled. In this game, like I said, I do think this game might be a bit maybe a bit too on the greedier side, especially with some of the changes they've made recently. Like, right, the only way to get the Lyria skin was by paying money, which is, like I said, I've been playing this game since 2019. Anytime, back when I started, anytime they released a new skin, you could literally just buy them for skin stones. Like, right, it's like the day of, you didn't have to wait 6 months, right? I could just buy, like, any of these skins for skin stones. Like, the day they release these here, right, the day they released the Dark Depth skin, right? I could buy this one for 5,000 skin stones the day of, right? The only exception was always the Winterfest skins, which were always locked with Winterfest, because Winterfest is a special event. That was like the only exception, and that was true for years and years. And then like just a year or two ago, they started paywalling all these skins behind specific events, probably about 2 years ago. And it's like, yeah, no. So if I got like, what's a hero that had a skin recently? I don't have. Let's see, Polaris, I think, has one. Yeah, her romantic skin, the Jessica Rabbit skin. Like I said, this one is paywalled, and you had to buy it during the theme. And this will probably, in a few months from now, they'll probably have it. But, stuff like this is where, like, the game's gotten greedier. Like, and a lot of people, right, games getting greedier, like I said, that's the kind of stuff that drives people away. Like, there's lots of other gacha games out there. Especially, this is an older game, right? So it's harder to attract new players to a game that's almost 10 years old. because there's literally thousands of these kinds of games that come out like every year. I mean, there's all kinds of them. Like if you can look at like literally hundreds of them that probably came out in this year already. And just like I said, we're not even halfway through this year. So gacha games or Diamond Dungeon, you can find games very similar to Hero Wars. Not exactly, games can be exactly, but I mean, it's just like if people feel like this game is too greedy, it's not offering them good value for their time or for their money spent, they will go elsewhere. It doesn't matter how long they play, it doesn't matter how much money they invested. At some point, they're like, hey, I can get better value for my time and money in a different game, right? And that's the thing. Like, we've seen lots of successful gacha games literally kill themselves because they decide to get too greedy. I mean, a good recent example that would be like Infinity Nikki, right? Is a game that was doing really well, and then like a couple weeks ago they started making all these weird changes and started getting a lot greedier, and now people are literally claiming the game is dead, right? Despite the fact the game was hugely successful. And this is a good example of, right, devs one kind of getting too greedy, but also just making like unnecessary changes again that are just right short-sighted, right? I mean, it's just stuff like that. Like, this is how gacha games die a lot of times, because generally because of bad management decisions, usually because they decided they wanted to make more money now, which hurts their long-term brand, right? So you just gotta be, like I said, so yeah, there has to be a balance there. And I do think the Phantom Tour, I think as a balance-wise, it struck a right balance on the monetization. I think it was a pretty fair balance. I don't think it was too high. I don't think it was too, like, they do need to have some monetization because it does pay the bills. So I do think it was pretty fair. And like I said, the stages were fun. The music was great, though. My gosh, some of those tracks were freaking bangers. Also, vocal music in the battle themes. Cool. I'd love to see, like I said, more of that, or I'd love to just see some of these events to become like, right, or the Phantom Tour, way to access the Phantom Tour again or something, or just those battle themes be used somewhere else, because now we can't hear them anymore unless you recorded them. Anyway, if you want to know more about Lyria, though, I did a full video about her and her abilities down below. As always, thank you for watching.